Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to the channel. Just a quick video giving you some more ideas about the computer-based IELTS and why you should take it, why you shouldn't take it, right? I'm going to give you some pros and cons, some general pros and cons, and maybe I'll talk about the reading and writing sections. This was really helpful for me, right? So computer-based was really helpful in terms of reading and writing. Obviously, it's for listening as well, but I didn't really notice much of a difference for listening. So just wanted to share my experience, say what is considered a con, what is not, and such. So let's start. One is that, and this one's probably a no-brainer for all of you, and that is if you're slow at typing, do not take the computer-based IELTS. You have to understand IELTS in itself is a stressful exam. No matter what anybody wants to tell you, it is stressful, right? So you don't want to add even more stress, okay, to an already stressful situation by having to constantly, backspace if you can't type correctly, or if you're making a lot of mistakes, or you simply can't keep up because your typing is too slow. Okay, nothing's wrong with that, but just stick with the paper-based IELTS if your typing is slow. Okay, one pro that I think is really good that a lot of people don't talk about is the font size. You can change the font size in the reading exam, and that is a big plus for me because sometimes maybe you can't read or you can't see correctly. That way you can have it bigger, and you can also highlight certain stuff, so that makes it that much easier to find what you're looking for and go back to the question and then back to the passage if you want. Okay. One more con that I think is not a deal breaker, but might take a lot of people by surprise, is that the screen actually either gets locked or turned off once the timer is off. A lot of people will say, yeah, but the thing is, it completely shuts off. Like, what I mean by that is as soon as the time is over, boom, you can't do anything else. A lot of people, we're used to this, right? On the paper-based exam, we're like, I'm going to make some final touches, some final minute changes. You can't do that. So make sure that if you enter this computer-based exam, that you finish everything before the time is up. Okay? Now, what else do we have? Okay, one more con that I noticed when taking the exam, and this one's not a deal breaker, it's just a little bit weird, I think, and that is the timer. Okay, so you get a timer telling you the time for each section, but the thing is, it doesn't show seconds. So you have to hover over it in order to see the seconds. Other than that, you can't see the seconds until you hover over it. So just keep that in mind as well. That's basically about it for the general pros and cons. So just general advice is either be good at typing, and this will help you tremendously, or stick with the paper-based. This is the biggest advice that I can give you. Now let me go. I also have some notes here on my computer for the listening and writing section. Okay. One major thing that really helps with the reading section is that you can have the passage on the left side and the questions on the right. So this is really helpful for going back and forth quickly. You do have to get used to it, but it is much faster than reading and then maybe switching or turning over the page and again and such. And pair that with the fact that you can highlight and change the font, and boom. And you can even copy paste. So Control C, Control V. This, reduces the risk of making a typo when writing quickly. Okay, sometimes you write quickly and you make a mistake without even noticing, and Google corrects it for you, or Word corrects it for you. This will not be in the exam, so be careful of that. That could be considered a con, but in my opinion, copy paste makes it easier when it comes to the reading section. Okay. So, one more thing is you cannot use the search function to find words. A lot of people seem to think that the search bar is used for finding the words. It is not, okay? So make sure that don't start typing words so that you can find where the passage is. You have to actually read or proofread or scan or skim. We talked about this in a different video. I'm not going to get into too much detail here, but just know that you have to actually read, skim, scan, and such to find what you're looking for and not just search. It wouldn't be an exam. Okay? So just a piece of advice here is get used to scrolling up and down. okay? Because sometimes the passages are long, especially if you take the academic exam. So get used to being able to highlight quickly and being able to go up and down on your mouse and such. Okay, now let's move on to the writing. Some pros and cons, and the biggest one for me was that you do not have to count words. This makes things so much easier, you guys. Excuse me. So on the paper based, you have to constantly count your words to make sure that you're meeting the minimum amount of words, which is either for task 1, 150 and 250 for task 2. On the computer based, you have a constant reminder telling you how many words you have written, so you don't have to think about it, okay? You just take a look. If you don't write enough, you write more. If not, you can just stop. If you're at 300 or 350, you're golden, okay? Now, the major con for me here is that obviously there's no spelling check or write like Word or Google or such. So if you make a typo and you don't notice it, it will go by. And sometimes even after we're done and we're proofreading, we don't catch all the words. Okay, so just be careful of that because you might make some mistakes. And obviously when a word is written wrong, it is, well, wrong. Okay, makes sense. So you will lose marks on that if you are not careful. One more con that I noticed that not a lot of people talk about is that there's going to be a lot of people typing right with you. You're in a hall. You have a headset, which is good, by the way. Put that headset on even on the writing section. That headset should be on at all times, in my opinion, throughout the whole exam because you don't want to hear those noisy keyboard clicks and mouse clicks and such. So put that on. Obviously, it's not going to be noise canceling or anything like that, but it'll be better than having your ear open all the time for to hear others clicking and clacking and such. So this is a con, okay? Just make sure that you know this before going in. You'll hear a lot of people, especially in the writing section, just spamming and typing depending on how people type. Okay, so just put your headphones on or headset on and try your best to ignore it. Okay, but remember, this is a con. One more thing, again, this is related to the writing section, but I said this on the general pros and cons, and that is your typing speed needs to be adequate here because you're going to be writing a lot of words, okay? So sometimes you write 500, sometimes you write 400, combining both of them. So just remember that your typing speed needs to be adequate. Make sure that you know your typing speed before you go into the exam. I'll have a link below. Just a quick test to give you your words per minute. Okay? Again, like we said, you'll be given a pen and paper for the writing section as well. Could write notes there for your writing to just basically just recollect your thoughts and your notes. But remember, these will be thrown in the trash after. So just remember, why do I keep saying just remember a lot? Just know that you will have to write everything down that you want checked on the computer itself. Okay, so that was the writing section. As for speaking, obviously, it's the exact same. You're going to be talking to someone face-to-face, maybe on the same day, maybe not. But the thing is, it's going to be face-to-face, so no computers involved at all. Okay, so that was computer-based IELTS, some pros and cons for both. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.